The Houston Texans took a step towards fixing their offensive line by moving on from a disappointing Shaq Mason. His 2024 season couldn't keep him around, but with or without Shaq Mason, they had a need at right guard. And certainly without him, they definitely have a need at right guard. The options on the roster aren't exactly exciting, so enter free agency, which is right around the corner. It starts early this upcoming week. Deals become official midweek, but they start getting announced early in the week on Monday afternoon. So the Texans be looking in free agency for that right guard solution. I've got a name for you, and I have a simple question for Nick Caserio. Would you like fries with that? That's right. Will Fries from the Indianapolis Colts is the player I want to talk about. We'll talk about the price to get him as well, and ultimately, should the Texans do it. But the Texans have to get a right guard on this roster via free agency or the NFL draft. The players that are on the roster right now, well, not very many right guards and not very much experience at the position either. Juice Scruggs played a little bit of right guard last year, but they benched him in favor of Shaq Mason. Nick Broker was on the roster all year long, but wasn't a right guard option. Titus Howard's a left guard, and Ladarius Henderson didn't even play football last year, and he would be essentially a rookie this upcoming year. So you head to free agency, and if you want to look at the top of the free agency market, Will Fries is the guy. Fries is the guy. I wish he was two guys, that it would be Fries as the guys, and it would rhyme. Anyway, let's take a look at Will Fries. He's going to be 27 years old this upcoming season. Played for the Indianapolis Colts. Fries is a former 7th-round pick out of Penn State that played his way into a starting job. He started it towards the back end of the 2022 season for the Colts. He played the entire 2023 season for the Indianapolis Colts, and he was pretty good. He wasn't amazing by any means. He was just okay. It was like an order of fast food fries that are, yeah, they're salty enough, but maybe they could be a little bit warmer. But then Will Fries' 2024 season, it was perfect. Whatever your favorite fast food French fry is, just imagine warm, salty, a perfect amount, some extra bonus fries in the bag. That was Will Fries' 2024 football season. But then imagine you're almost home and you spill the bag of fries and they go in the floorboard. That's kind of what happened to Will Fries as well. He got hurt, he broke his leg, and he missed the rest of the season after just 5 weeks. So 5 weeks of really good football from Will Fries, 5 weeks of the best football of his career, as you can see there with the Pro Football Focus rankings. And I mean, 86.9, he was one of the top 5 guards, one of the top 5 offensive linemen in football, Pro Football Focus grade early on. And, then he broke his leg and he couldn't play. And look, the results ultimately for Fries in those 5 games are going to be what people hope they're getting, but there's an element of betting on potential. Now, he's not played a tremendous amount of football, but he's played enough that you have a pretty good gauge of he's not actually the 2024 Will Fries, but he's probably better than the 2022 and 2023 version. And he ultimately, because of a combination of his age and the market as it sits, he's going to be a pretty highly paid player. But how's he fit for the Houston Texans? Well, you plop him down there at right guard, and he solves the solution at right guard for the next couple of seasons for you. That's how he fits the Houston Texans. And he's a guy that, again, not exactly the best guard in football, but he's much better than average, it would seem, based on his 2024 results. But you're still doing a little bit of projecting on what he did in 2024 and hoping that that's around in 2025 and beyond. He's also a multi-year fit for the Houston Texans if they make this investment. This is not a 1 or 2 year situation with Fries. If you put Fries in the bag, you've got Fries for a few years for the Houston Texans. And again, there's nobody on the roster that can right now play right guard for the Texans. And if you do start a rookie there, you're starting a rookie there. This guy's got 2.5 seasons of starting experience. That's a nice little advantage over a rookie, even though the price is certainly expensive. I mentioned he's going to be one of the top guards on the market, even though he hasn't played a tremendous amount of football. Well, Trey Smith from the Kansas City Chiefs, he got franchise tagged. He was going to be the most expensive guard on the market. So he's off the board. And now Fries has an argument to go to the table and negotiate as one of the top guards out there on the market. So you're thinking about a $14, $15, $16 million a year investment in a guy like Fries. And if you spent $16 million on Fries as the Houston Texans and you had the big investment in Laramie Tunsil and Titus Howard already, that's a lot of money on the offensive line. And I can't tell you for sure that Fries solves everything for the offensive line. You still got to go out and do a few more things for this O-line. But when you shop at the top of the market, that's what you end up paying for guys who don't have lengthy track records in the National Football League. And that price is, again, a little bit of a bet on the potential paying off for Fries. Now, obviously, if you wanted to move on from Titus Howard, say in training camp, because somebody, maybe a rookie that you drafted or another player was pushing him really well at left guard, you save a couple of bucks. You get Shaq Mason's savings after June 1st. So for conversations about, say, extending Derek Stingley, you get a couple of bucks in the summer to use for Derek Stingley's contract extension. And yes, while Titus Howard's contract falls off the books soon, while Dalton Schultz's contract falls off the books soon, Will Anderson's contract goes on the books soon. C.J. Stroud's contract goes on the books soon. And so does Derek Stingley's contract. So do you want this type of investment on this level of player when you have those big contracts coming up on the books? Maybe it would behoove you to just spend a little bit more. And if you're going to have tight salary cap space, you might as well have tight salary cap space with a more defined player. But at the same time, if he plays beyond his potential and up to what he showed in 2024, then you're getting a bargain, because a guard like that is worth $20 million a year. Robert Hunt is probably the best example, and Fries isn't going to get Robert Hunt money. Hunt left the Dolphins for the Panthers. Hunt was a 4-year starter, basically, was a much better overall player than Fries. He got $20 million a year, but Fries' 2024 season, if he'd had an entire season of that, he might be getting close to that $20 million a year. So if you got a guard at, say, $15.5 million a year, but he's playing like a $20 million a year guard, you could live with maybe initially overpaying him, but you've got to, again, project that he's going to be that guy. So we talked about the player. We talked about the price to get that player. What's the verdict? Well, I'm thumbs up on Fries. I'm thumbs down on Will Fries, though. I just don't know that he's going to be a much better option and significant commitment long-term to him than some of these other short-term contracts that maybe you could sign. I think about a guy like Kevin Zeitler, who is an older player who's played a lot of football, but he's probably in that 1 or 2 year range commitment, whereas Fries is at least 3, probably 4 when you start thinking about signing him up, and that's a long contract, and I'm not quite sure about him. Or if you are going with a veteran, maybe somebody who's a little bit cheaper, you have a draft pick or even another veteran there for then kind of duel it out and battle some things out there. I just don't love the financial commitment and betting on potential. This is a move you could have made a couple of years ago if you were the Texans. I don't believe this is a move you can make right now if you're the Houston Texans. So I'm going to say thumbs down on Will Fries. Go somewhere else with that right guard spot. Maybe somebody better like Kevin Zeitler, or somebody cheaper in free agency who maybe is a little bit more established, though their ceiling's probably not as high as what 2024 Fries was. Also, what's your favorite fast food fry? Let me know in the comment section down below. And do you want Will Fries on the Houston Texans? Let me know in the comment section down below. On your way down there, throw me a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Of course, you can join the channel's membership feature as well. You get access to videos early, get custom emojis during the live streams, so much more. I do feel like it's going to make it worth it for you when you subscribe to the membership, and your viewing experience isn't going to change if you don't. You just miss out on some of the cool perks and features of memberships. But your support is always appreciated around here. Thank you so much. Free agency is going to be a blast. We're going to talk a ton about it here on this channel. We're going to talk a ton about it over on the Locker Room. We're going to talk a ton about it over on SNL. Myself and Landry Locker team up, so you don't want to miss out on anything. So subscribe to the SNL channel as well. You don't want to miss out on the latest and greatest from free agency as it gets rolling, and maybe Nick Caserio will put the Fries in the bag, bro. Or maybe you got to hand Fries the bag to get him. Anyway, I digress. Appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait until we talk Texans again soon.